Hello and welcome to this tutorial. In this discussion we are going to look at a question: the square root of x to the power x is equal to x to the power the square root of x. And we are asked to find the value of x, as you can see on the screen. Let's proceed to the solution. Okay, now let's write our question down. We have the square root of x to the power x is equal to x to the power the square root of x. This looks a bit weird, but yes, x certainly has a certain value, or there's a certain value that satisfies this expression you see on the screen. So here, to make our calculations easier, we will take log to the base x of both sides. So you take the log to the base x of both sides. So we have the log of square root of x to the power x to the base x is equal to log to the base x of x to the power the square root of x. And now if you remember this property of logarithm, that if you have log x to the power n to the base a, right, is the same as n times log x to the base a, right? So we are going to apply that property right here, because you can see a power of x right here, and of course you can also see that x is also raised to the power the square root of x here. So what do? We write it as follows. So this portion of the expression becomes x log square root of x to the base x, and of course root x log x to the base x. Is that okay? But now if you remember another property, log x to the base x simply gives you 1. Alright? Normally, if the argument is the same as the base, the result is 1. Remember the definition of logarithm. Alright, this expression here simply means that which power are you going to raise the base to give you x to the power 1, because x is the same as x to the power 1. And what is the result? That is simply 1, because if you raise x to the power 1, you still get the same value as x, right? So now this simplifies our expression to x log x to the power 1 half, alright, or half is equal to the square root of x. Okay, I hope you know that the square root of x can also be written as x to the power half. Okay, now applying the same rule we applied earlier, right, we can bring this power to this side. Do you get it? Using this particular rule of logarithm. Alright, and that gives us half x log x to the base x is equal to the square root of x. Okay, let's hold on with this one here for now. Now what do we have? Log x to the base x also gives us 1. Okay, log x to the base x also gives us 1, as you can see. And now what does that give us? Before we proceed, kindly click on the subscribe button, like and share. Let's go back to the video. That means our log x to the base 1 becomes 1, leaving the expression as half x is equal to the square root of x. Okay, now to clear the square root, what do? We square both sides. Okay, now when you square both sides, this square here affects all the numbers within. So 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, and x squared is x to the power 2. Alright, and here the square root of x to the power 2 simply means that the root or the radical sign and the power cancel out. You get it? So simply we have x. Now that will lead our expression to 1 over 4 x to the power 2 is equal to x. In other words, 1/4 x squared is equal to x. The next thing is that we clear this fraction we have here. So what do? We multiply it by the common denominator, and doing so we multiply both left hand side and right hand side by 4, and that simply gives us 4 times 1 over 4 x squared is equal to 4 times x, and that is simply going to simplify to x squared is equal to 4x. Why? The 4 here divides out the 4, leaving 1, leaving our x squared standing alone. Alright, now what do? We transpose the 4x to the left hand side, leaving us with the expression x squared minus 4x is equal to 0. Or better still, you subtract 4x from both sides, and this will give us the expression we have on the screen. The next thing is we factor out x. When you factor out x, you are going to have x brackets open x minus 4 to be equal to 0. This is going to lead us to two possible solutions, right? Remember, x squared minus 4x is equal to 0 is simply a quadratic equation. Alright, so in this case, if we have two numbers multiplying, that will give you 0. It means that either of them can be equated to 0. Alright, so in that case, we can say that x is equal to 0, or x minus 4 is also equal to 0. And in the second expression, x minus 4 is equal to 0 can also be written as x is simply equal to 4. But now we have two answers. Alright, so which one is the correct answer? Please, remember, this is the square root of x to the power x is simply equal to x to the power the square root of x. If the answer is 0, then we have 0. The square root of 0 is simply 0. I hope you know that. Alright, so if you are going to give it a power of 0, that is undefined. It's the same as saying that 0 divided by 0. Alright, so 0 divided by 0 can never give us a result. Alright, so we can simply conclude that therefore x is equal to 4. Okay, and just a quick reminder, if you have 0 to the power 0, is the same as 0 divided by 0, which is undefined. Alright, there is no answer for any division whereby the divisor is 0. Thank you for your time. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, please. Kindly like this video and share it around. Please, if you can't even subscribe, just like it. It is going to help the YouTube algorithm so that my video can get recommended to various platforms and of course various individuals across board. Alright, thank you for your time, and then may God bless you. Goodbye.